July 17th, 1981, Kansas City. Inside the brand new Hyatt Regency Hotel, more than 1,000 people fill a soaring glass atrium for a Friday evening tea dance. Music echoes off the walls. Couples spin across the floor. High above them, 3 slender walkways cross the open space, packed with guests leaning over the railings to watch. It looks like a perfect night. No one looks up. No one has any reason to. In 4 minutes, 114 of them will be gone. At 5 minutes past 7, a sound cracks through the music. A sharp metallic pop, loud enough to hear across the entire hall. Then the 4th floor walkway tears loose from the ceiling. It crashes down onto the 2nd floor walkway directly beneath it, and together, tons of steel, concrete, and glass fall onto the crowd below. In seconds, the celebration becomes the deadliest structural collapse in American history. The hotel was barely a year old. No earthquake, no storm, no bomb. The walkways simply fell under the weight of people standing on them. So how does a modern building, designed by professionals and approved by the city, drop its walkways onto a crowd? The answer is one of the most chilling lessons in all of engineering, and it comes down to a single, tiny change. To understand it, look at how those walkways hung. In the original design, long steel rods ran from the ceiling all the way down, passing through the 4th floor walkway and continuing to the 2nd floor walkway below. Each walkway hung from the same continuous rods, like 2 climbers on a single rope anchored at the top. The connection holding the 4th floor walkway only had to carry the weight of that one walkway. It was elegant. It was simple. And then it was changed. Threading a nut all the way up a rod that long was awkward to build. So the steel fabricator proposed what looked like a harmless fix. Instead of one continuous rod, use 2 shorter ones. One rod would hang the 4th floor walkway from the ceiling. A second, separate rod would hang the 2nd floor walkway from the 4th floor walkway. On paper, it looked almost identical. In reality, it was catastrophic. Here's why. In the new design, the 2nd floor walkway no longer hung from the ceiling. It hung from the 4th floor walkway, which meant the 4th floor connection now had to carry not one walkway, but 2. With a single stroke, the load on that critical joint doubled. The nut beneath the 4th floor box beam was now holding up everything, and everyone, on both walkways at once. And that joint was never strong enough to begin with. Even the original design met only about 60% of the city's required strength. The change dragged it down to barely 30. Investigators later found the walkways couldn't safely carry even their own weight, let alone a crowd. They'd have failed under just 1/3 of the load standing on them that night. The collapse wasn't bad luck. It was waiting to happen. But the most disturbing part isn't the physics. It's the people. The change was approved over a phone call. The promised written confirmation never came. The calculations that would have exposed the danger were simply never done. The drawings were stamped and sealed without anyone checking the connection. And 2 years earlier, part of the hotel's roof had already collapsed during construction, a warning that went unheeded. So when hundreds of people gathered on the walkways that evening, the overloaded 4th floor connection finally gave way. The steel box beam split open, the nut tore through the metal, and the rod ripped free. There was no backup, no second path for the load to travel. The instant that one connection failed, nothing was left to catch the walkways. And they fell. The investigation that followed reshaped the profession. The engineers who sealed the design lost their licenses. It proved that an engineer's signature isn't a formality. It's a promise of safety, paid for in lives when it's broken. Today, the Hyatt Regency collapse is taught to almost every engineer alive. A permanent reminder that in engineering, there's no such thing as a small change. Because the smallest detail, overlooked, can bring everything down.